Here we go. Rangers 4, Hearts 2. That was everything that we were going to talk about. Was always going to be Scotland this weekend with the FA Cup, although there was a couple of interesting FA Cup things that happened. But Rangers 4, Hearts 2, and Kilmarnock 2, Celtic 3. Let's start from the beginning. I watched the second half of Kilmarnock Celtic, and look, Celtic come back, they get the win. It sets the tone for the game this afternoon, I think, at Ibrox, that everyone was really waiting for. You always deserve a win when you come back from there. Celtic fair play. That's the hallmark of what champions do. That's the hallmark of what an old firm team does. Said that in the videos last week. You cannot deny it. I thought Kilmarnock imploded. It was like if Kilmarnock drew or lost that game, they were like officially relegated, or they were going out of business or something. It was really poor. It was really poor from a bunch of players that were confident 2-0 up. I know they're down near the bottom of the table and all that type of stuff. I get it. But Neil McCann lost it. The players lost it. And Celtic are always going to capitalise on that when you're constantly putting the pressure on at some point. You're going to get the chance, and they take it, and they get the moment in the crowd, and I think that's the moment of the weekend. I know Rangers beat Hearts, afterwards at Ibrox, but I think the Celtic last minute kind of goal is the talk of the weekend. It keeps it going. And then we come to Ibrox, and which was a bizarre game. It did not feel like there should have been 6 goals in that game. I think if anyone deserves to leave that pitch as winners, it probably is Rangers. I think Hearts, again, struggled to show anything in the final third. They are really missing Shanklin, and I know it's an obvious thing to say, but he tries to go without Kabore, which I think is the right call to do after Kabore's last couple of games. It doesn't really work. He brings Kabore on at halftime to try and have that presence up top. But yeah, it's just like everything just looked slow. The pitch looked heavy. Everyone looked like they were running cement. It's the first goal is a calamity from Rangers, and it kind of summed up the first kind of 12 whatever minutes it was. It's a shocker. Hearts do well just to kind of dig it out, and Leonard does very well. He kind of mishits it, and it goes into the corner, and it's a great finish. And then Rangers pull it back again with a shocker of an own goal for the equaliser from Steinwinder, who had a shocker of a game. And then he makes the assist for Braga. What a header that is, by the way, going away from goal, heads it back across goal. He is not going to be at Hearts come the summertime, I don't think. Someone's going to take a punt on him at a higher level, unfortunately, and that's the model. And if the bid comes in that's high enough, Hearts fans, you're going to have to put up with that. But he struggled to get himself as the lone striker. I would have done that. Yeah, I was actually saying that after the Hibs game, I would try Braga up there on his own, but he's like good at getting his body in the way and like linking up, but he needs a partner by him. He's not like get in the way and kind of hold it up like the whole game. I thought he was constantly behind the Rangers defenders. I thought they stepped up really well all the time and just kind of dealt with him, but it's a hell of a header. And then Rangers get the equaliser. Chermiti ends up going on to get a hat-trick, and just even the last couple of goals that Rangers score on that far right-hand side, like I don't know what the instruction was at all, but Harry Milne was nowhere to be seen in there. I'm not blaming him. He was solid in the game. He's probably Hearts' best player, if not one of Hearts' best players. But that space just opened up, and you felt like Rangers on the transition were going to get that. And McKinnon says that after the game. I think that's what Rangers have been strongest at, is not necessarily, being this great team that dominates on the ball and plays. They're not that. They're not great. I think your best way of beating Rangers is almost letting them have the ball and try and make them break you down. They hate it on the transition, and they go and do it, and it's a 4-2 win. But again, I said this on my TikTok live. I'm in a lot of group chats, and I didn't feel as if Rangers fans are going too mad about it, which is, fair play from you guys. But it didn't feel like a convincing, like, you're back in the title race, but I don't know. It didn't feel convincing. I don't think that Rangers side's great. I think that Rangers side drops points. I think Celtic drops points. And yeah, of course, I do think Hearts drop points as well. So it just depends on how it all swings back and forth. But Rangers and Celtic, will have themselves to deal with over the next few weeks during the Cup and in the league. It's a little bit of a distraction, and Hearts, I think, have a couple of home games, right, with Falkirk and Aberdeen. So they're going to have to go and win them, and you have to win all your home games anyway. And I said this before, you don't win a title by 10, 15 points. It's very rare that happens. You definitely don't split a monopoly and break a dominance and break a mental barrier hold on what the old firm has been in Scotland. And I think, look, Hearts, what you've shown this season to everybody, and we've seen it a little bit with Aberdeen last season, is Hearts weren't feared today, and they get 2 goals, and it felt like Hearts could have got a third goal. It didn't feel like Hearts were coming into a fortress of a place that they weren't able to get anything from, which it normally is in Glasgow, and it feels the same at Celtic Park, and I imagine it will still feel the same when Hearts play Celtic again next. I don't know if they've got them before the split or after the split, how that works. But yeah, it's another twist in the tail, and if you're going to want to beat the old firm, you're going to have to dig in, and you're going to have to do it from the absolute depths. But huge weekend for them. The Old Firm will take it. The narrative's now going to switch, and McInnes and Hearts going to have to deal with that. If I was McInnes, I'd be telling my players to be reading stuff this week. I'd be using it in training. We go again. Everyone's going to say the bubbles burst, the Old Firm, order is restored, all of that chat, which is fair enough. And you have to, I think, take it this weekend, McInnes. Take salt in the wound and just cop for it. And Rangers deserve to win, and Celtic get the last minute winner, and that's how it is. And then FA Cup stuff, Burnley get knocked out, all of that type of thing. But there's nothing too big to talk about within that. I think that'll be about it. I think that's as quick. It's huge. It's huge in Scotland. It's amazing. I'm really looking forward to the split. And Hearts have a couple of big games coming up before that to prove that they are not going away. And they've always bounced back from adversity this season. So we'll see if they're able to do it again with McInnes. But I think that's it. Alfie, you have anything you want to say? But that's it. So as always, if you want to watch these videos, and you move in a little bit, if you want to watch these videos, this guy has something to say. Can you please
like and subscribe to Josh?
Like and subscribe to the channel. As always, leave your comments, leave your thoughts. Hope you have a good weekend. Hope you enjoyed the football. What have we got this week? A little bit of FA Cup to finish it off, and then a couple of European Champions League qualifiers and Europa League qualifiers, isn't there? In there, Celtic are in the mix, Newcastle are in the mix. So yeah, a little bit of a quietish week. Keep an eye on those, and we're back to it again during the week. This is it. This is where everything matters. This is where all the games matter. This is where it really, really shows what you're made of at this point of the season, in league titles and relegation battles, and the cup starting to get into quarterfinals, semi-finals, and everything. Can't wait. Really looking forward to it. As always, until the next one, have a good one. Peace.